Hi everyone, this is Donna from Clever Crafting. So a couple of design features in this card today, and we'll be using the metric rectangles. So what I'm showing you is this is the second largest metric rectangle, and I want to put a matte piece on my card. So what I'm going to do is use the second largest piece, so it'll give me a nice little edge, and then the fourth largest piece, or the fifth largest piece, so it'll give me a nice little frame. I'm actually going to put another card over the top of this, and I'm going to use the third largest metric rectangle to cut a white piece that will go on top of that. And you can see how nicely they all fit together, and that we've got this lovely cohesive look because all of the frame sections are the same. So the white piece, the black piece, and then the white piece again. So what I want to do is I want to add some little squares to the front of my card, but I want to make sure that the gap between all of the pieces is exactly the same, because this will add a really nice finish to my card. So I'm using, I think that's the third smallest metric rectangle, and I'm popping this through my ancient Cuttlebug that I absolutely love and adore. My mother bought it for me, so it's going to be with me forever. And this is just popped. I'm just going to pop that out. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to, this is we're looking at the back of the die, and I am just turned that piece around that we cut through so it's butted up to the edge. You can see the edge of the side and the top, and it'll only just cut that one side there. And what happens is when we put this through, which I'm going to just pop that through my machine now, it's going to give us a perfect square. So I'm going to cut 3 of these, and I was able to cut these out of the leftover piece from the center, you know, from that black frame. You can see that's a perfect square. I did it with that, and I did it with some white. So the distance between the edge of the white and the edge of the black is going to be the same distance throughout my whole card. Now, I've just cut some flowers from that little set you can see at the side there, and I'm sticking them onto my little white pieces. So, and just to reiterate, I cut the small black squares out of the third smallest metric rectangle and the white ones out of the second smallest metric rectangle. And I'm just, you can see, just sticking these on. I've already done 2 of them. I did that off camera. And then I'm just going to trim that. So I just have this nice little design. Just to add a little bit more interest, I'm just using a plain dots embossing folder. Now, honestly, this has got to be my most used embossing folder. It's simple and it's elegant, and it's really nice just to add a little bit of texture and interest in the background. So I didn't show you me running that through my Cuttlebug, but you can see that I've done it there. And now we're just going to put this card together. I mean, really, this card is very simple and it looks beautiful. It's a beautiful effect. You don't have to do it in black and white, although I love it in the black and white. You could do it in, you know, any colors that you wanted. You could use pattern paper on the background if you wanted as well. Of course, all of that is totally up to you. So you can see that I'm just laying that on. So you can see that the distance between the black frame and the edge of the actual card is the same as the distance between that white matte piece and the edge of the black frame, which keeps it all really nice and neat. I'm just sticking some cardboard that I'm just cutting up and sticking on the back of the white pieces to give me some little dimension. As you know, I've got on this kick of using other stuff. You can use foam dots or double-sided foam tape. Whatever you want there is going to work just fine. Now I'm just sticking that onto the little black square, and I'll do that for all 3 of the little squares that I've done. You can see there's 3 there, and I'm just going to glue these flat on. Well, I'm going to glue the top one and the bottom one flat onto my card. And I just skipped a little bit there because you didn't need to see me loading that up with glue again, making sure that they're as even as possible and nice and straight. And I'm going to stick this one in the middle. Now, obviously, there's going to be a bit of a gap because of the cardboard on the bottom of those other 2, you know, of the white section of the other 2 little squares. So I am just going to put a piece of that cardboard right in the middle of this little square that's going to go on top. And of course I've laid them like diamonds. You don't have to, but I just like that look. I think it looks cute. And I'm just going to put some glue at the top and the bottom. Such an overkill with this glue. Honestly, I would only really need a dot. Anyway, it's a thing for me, isn't it? So now I'm just, sticking that on. I stamped out a greeting, which I, didn't show you in this video. on some white card and just matted it on some black. Nothing fancy. I just used my VersaFine because it always gives me a good look. I used my happy birthday greetings. I'll link everything below anyway. So, and there we have it. It's just a nice, easy card. So if this is the first time you've joined me, I hope you learned something and enjoyed it today. I'd love you to subscribe. So I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel a little bit and maybe share with some of your friends. That would really help me out a lot. These are just some close-up now of these. If you wanted to see some of, well, if you did one actually and wanted to show all of the rest of us, you could go on over to our Facebook group. So it's Gold Coast Crafters. I'll also put a link for that below and everything else that I can think of. Anyway, until next time, stay safe and happy crafting.